This final game has asked me to put things into groups, 2 managers in each of 3 cities. So I've got an organizational template that can accommodate that thinking, and we've got some rules. There's 4 managers. You're going to use each of them once. You're going to use Ibanez twice. So that's 5 spaces. That leaves one more person who's going to double up. Second rule, F and H cannot be together. Third rule, if you've got G at Manila, then you have H at Tokyo. So if you don't have H at Tokyo, you can't have G at Manila. If G were at Manila, H would be at Tokyo. And finally, G can't be at Sydney. We've got questions. Let's answer them. An acceptable assignment of managers. Well, in answer choice A, you've got only one Ibanez. Ibanez? Ibanez. That's unacceptable. You got to have 2 I's. In answer choice B, you've got Gleason at Sydney. That's unacceptable. 4th rule. Get rid of that crap. In answer choice D, you've got Gleason at Manila, but you do not have Haley in Tokyo. That is not right. That breaks the 3rd rule. Get rid of it. And finally, in answer choice E, you've got Fan and Haley together. No way. Not after we sent them out together last year. That's never happening again. So that leaves us the only answer choice C, which is then, of course, our answer. Question 18. What would completely determine the assignment of managers to cities? Look again, as we did in the last game, at how the dominoes fall. If you put Gleason in exactly 2 of the cities, you know that she doesn't visit Sydney. So Gleason is here and here. And then we have another rule about Gleason. If she's in Manila, H is in Tokyo. And now we have to have 2 I's. And then we have to have an F. And if you get 2 Gleasons, you know where everybody goes. And you try any of those others and you just don't get the same effect. I mean, you want to try one? Sure. Answer choice D, F and G visit Tokyo. All right, now we have a rule. Haley's not at Tokyo, so G is not at Manila. But we've got 2 I's. And now this is not a G. But who is it? It could be an H or it could be an F. We've got to have an F somewhere, but I don't know. And that's the difference, right? And any of those others, you're just not going to know where they go exactly in the way that you know where everybody goes if Gleason goes twice. Okay, question 19. Why do we have to have Ibanez visiting Sydney? Well, let's see what would happen if we don't have Ibanez visiting Sydney. I don't think I have to write anything. G can't visit Sydney. And if I doesn't visit Sydney, then the only people left to visit Sydney are F and H, but they can't both visit Sydney together. You can't have I outside of Sydney. I mean, obviously you can. You can have an I in Sydney and an I also outside of Sydney. But you must have I in Sydney. It's an interesting and useful piece of information. All right. Question 20. What could be true? How are you going to get F and I both at Manila? Well, all right. We've got F and I at Manila, and now we've got to have a G, and not at Sydney, so that's a G. And then, as we just discovered, we've got to have an I at Sydney. And then we've got to have an H somewhere, but, like, who cares where? Let's put an H here. Let's put another H over here. You could totally have F and I at Manila together. That just doesn't break any rules. And again, by contrast, and we don't have to do this, pick another answer choice, like B, G and I visit Tokyo. Well, H is not at Tokyo, so G is not here. G is not at Manila, and G is never here, so we've got no more G's. I've got one more I, and let's put her somewhere, right? Now, I've got no more G's and no more I's. Who's going here? It would have to be F and H, and that can't happen, so there's nobody that can fill that spot. And that's just the difference, you know. When it could be true, it could be true. When it can't be true, it breaks a rule. Question 21, if one of the cities is visited by both G and H, what has to be true? All right, if you're going to have a city that is visited by both G and H, then that city is either Manila, else Tokyo. Either way, you're going to have two I's. And in two I's. And in option A, this top option, if you've got G at Manila, you've got H at Tokyo, and you'll have to have a Fran. In option B, we've got to have a Fran somewhere. But this other one could be like whoever, right? So what were we asked? What must be true? Well, D, the one thing both of these episodes have in common is that H is in Tokyo. Question 22. If I visits Tokyo, what could be true? If I is in Tokyo, can we get F and G in Manila? Question 22. Well, we need one more I. And now G is in Manila, so H has to be Tokyo. And then this could be, it's not G, but it could be either F or H. Yeah, I mean, we could have F and G at Manila. That works. It's fine. And again, you try any of those other answer choices and they just won't work. They break rules. That leaves us with only question 23, a substitute. And if we're going to substitute for the condition that F and H can't be together, notice that answer choice E does that perfectly. Answer choice E says, anytime you don't have G, you have I. And anytime you don't have I, you have G. In other words, if answer choice E is true, you always, always, always have to have either I or G, which means that we end up with something that looks like this. I, because we never get a G there. I or G, and all of a sudden, as if by magic, F and H cannot be together. Answer choice E ends up in the same result. You have to split up F and H. And that means it is a substitute for that old rule. And that finishes this fourth game. So here's the deal with these free videos. They're intended to serve a very narrow purpose. For those times when you're wondering, why is that the right answer? You can just come here for a complete library and find out why it was the right answer. And I hope that you'll find that it was very instructive. Of course, the other part of the deal is that since LSAC publishes all of their tests along with test keys, that means that there's no barrier to entry for test prep. And you can hear the air quotes, I hope. Anybody can, and lots of people have, set up shop and called themselves test prep companies. And they've got the questions, they've got the answer keys, and they just try to explain to you why the right answer is right. And then they charge you money for it? That is wrong. I want to put a stop to it. I want to sweep the legs right out from under them. It is bad for you. It's bad for me too. So if you want to know what the right answer is and why the right answer is right, I want you to be able to come here and find it out for free without paying anybody for it. That's very different from what I do in the paid course. What I think has value about what I do is that I can tell you ahead of time what every question wants from you, what to expect from the right answer, how to formulate a right answer, and then how you can expect wrong answers to sound, so that you know before you ever open up a test book exactly what to expect. And all the practice videos that are part of the paid course are just me putting that theory into practice. It's just the rubber meeting the road. In other words, I'm going to show you based on what we've done before how we're going to react when it comes up next time. And that bit, knowing what to do the next time you see something, that I think is worth paying for. And if you agree, I'd love to have you in the course. And if not, that's fine too. Don't pay anybody to explain why right answers are right. Just watch these for free. Enjoy.